Ways to enhance text design. Sometimes, simply layering text over elements can elevate the design. Layering may hinder recognition. Just add an outline to the element. All are solutions. Apart from placing elements first, layering text as a foreground over elements can be quite successful. If the text is simple, you can overlay its strokes directly. Yet, if the text is complex, then you need to enlarge one of the key words before layering. Designing an image. Adjusting the text's blending mode can enhance its integration with the background texture. Make text the theme. Put the image in the text. However, I mentioned during my live stream that if the image content is very complex, the text outline must be simple. Balance the gray in all things.
How can we make two apples look sophisticated for the client? By using the colors of the apples to fill the background, creating a gradient, replicating several apples, adjusting their sizes, and positioning them diagonally with hands and apples. The view makes it appear simple and beautiful.
Wait, this apple is as big as a fist.
Let's make it the size of a fist.
It's still not big enough. Let's try again.
Let's blow up the apple to fill the frame, placing a character in the scene to create a visual tension through size contrast and a rich atmosphere.
The color is too dull. It hasn't reached my vision yet.
Since the solid color is too dull, let's adjust the color wheel to find complementary colors at 180 degrees for contrast. However, the single color scheme is still insufficient. We should replicate multiple apples to build the scene and enhance the visual atmosphere with this complementary method. Wouldn't the design be more appealing?
This is indeed done with effort, but I feel it's just average. Can we make it more artistic? Can I have a black that's colorful?
In that case, let's make a black background, apply a spectrum of colors, and give the apple a shiny look. When the light hits it, an apple can also have a colorful black.
It's nice, but why do I feel...
This is a hamburger. When you think the design is too rigid, you can listen to the client, put the text into the entire picture as the background, and place the hamburger on top of the text. The visual effect of the picture will have a distinct sense of hierarchy, add light and texture. A poster is ready. Learn to flexibly use typography. Since the text has been enlarged, then you can also enlarge the hamburger and place it in the visual center of the picture. Changing the size and position of the typography, the visual information is more focused, and the picture will not be too rigid. But if you want to make it more designy, the conventional layout is still too ordinary. You can try to expand the inside of the burger so that each ingredient can be clearly seen. To enhance the appetite, by arranging the text symmetrically, making the overall visualan creates a sense of balance. Compared to the previous design, adding more space for white space, making the poster it has more flexibility. The design sense is there. Why not give the poster some interesting stylization? Arrange the text around the burger, place two hands holding the hamburger, with a sunset atmosphere background. With the addition of a dreamy filter, the hamburger can also have a hazy, girly feeling. If you are tired of these rich images, remember to learn to simplify the design. Make the image of the hamburger into a flat illustration style. A solid red background with a grid texture, making the visual more striking and brand tone. Add some interesting and humorous design methods, simple and direct, and more recognizable. When you throw away those rigid rules and start designing, you will have new vitality. It can be fun, stylized, with a sense of design and flexible design forms. This is the story of a hamburger design.
When there's only one element on a screen, the design can feel quite plain. But just by adding a circle, you can instantly enhance the overall visual texture. The circle is often considered the most perfect shape. Compared to others, it's easier to draw focus and offers a more balanced visual experience. When a layout has few elements, the visual focus can easily drift away from the text. Adding a circle behind the text helps rebalance the composition and adds that final, eye-catching touch. In our own design work, many of the elements are generated with Pikit.ai. One sentence sets the style, controls the details, and allows instant background removal. No more hunting for scattered assets. When inspiration strikes, just generate and go. Creativity flows as fast as your thoughts. On more complex pages, where there's a lot of information, the viewer's attention can become scattered. A simple circle in the background can make a big difference. Or be even bolder. You might be surprised by the result. In everyday e-commerce or H5 interface design, we often feel the visuals are dull or lacking a focal point. Adding a circular ring in the background can help highlight and support the main subject. But don't stop there. The circle can carry your entire creative vision.
This is a double exposure image. Originally, it was a photographic technique that involves exposing the same film twice, layering two images to create a magical, dreamlike effect. In graphic design, it has evolved into overlaying a scene or texture within the silhouette of a person or object, creating a layered, poetic visual concept. It can bring narrative. One silhouette carries two images, allowing the piece to tell a story in a single frame. Dreamlike quality, it blurs the line between reality and imagination, making the image more poetic. Tension and contrast, enhance visual impact through contrast. Double exposure can both convey a story and set a mood, making it one of designers' favorite storytelling techniques. A character look quite ordinary, restructure it, instantly, more tension. Destruction is a classic design move. Break one element, and all eyes go there. Too messy? Just disrupt a single detail, readable, yet more dynamic. Or, be even bolder, physically tear open the layout. Beneath the surface, there might be hidden layers of information, different states, striking contrasts, unexpected figures. In design, anything is possible.
A classic movie poster, simplified into a minimalist style. We use basic shapes for the main graphic, and incorporate character traits into the triangle. The essence of the classic still from The Godfather is to convey rich meaning with minimal elements, enhanced by light, shadow, texture, and layout. If we use this still for a poster, many might think of making it flat. But it can be expressed more simply, with triangles forming the V-neck of a suit, two more for the bow tie, and a flower to suggest character traits. This turns features into clear symbols that highlight purity and directness. In our approach, we apply the same technique to streamline. This is a film poster that utilizes fundamental geometric shapes to outline Baymax and emphasize its most distinctive eyes. This is the first layer of simplification, removing irrelevant elements, while focusing on core traits. Simplicity doesn't mean absence, it allows greater interpretive freedom. Ultimately, this image is created using two rectangles and a circle, with 3 random lines added on top. Do you recognize which film this is from?
This is an ordinary corn. Adding text to it might make the image feel ordinary, but changing its direction and adding a circle can create a focal point in the world, producing a visual effect that adds depth and layers. Push the corn aside, duplicate the text, and rearrange it for a lively feel. Compare corn sizes and use a simple layout with a rectangle for a focal point. Corn design is tied to its essence. If text seems impossible, trim and add it to blend with the scene. Enlarging corn can showcase its essence. Let it bloom. If it's just one tomato, this image will look sparse. We only need to duplicate a few shots to fill the entire frame. For a daytime composition poster design like this, there's no problem, but it feels rather ordinary. We can duplicate an element, rearrange the text to form a new composition, copy the elements, and arrange them reasonably. This is the principle of repetition in layout design. We can use this method to give the calligraphy brush a high-end feel. First, we enlarge the brush and duplicate several more copies within the layout for a more detailed display of this brush, finally adding decorations. For example, even if there's only one line of English, we can use this method. We duplicate the English several times and use different lighting effects to create layers, and a high-end poster is complete. Alternatively, we can arrange the text vertically, change its shape like turning the pages of a book, and add decorations. If you master this repetition technique skillfully, you'll find it's not just for English. Chinese characters can be treated this way too. These few Chinese characters clearly lack artistic sense. First, we enlarge them, arrange them reasonably, add lighting and shadows, and then repeat the individual characters. Add the copy, and a high-end poster is done. This is a lychee. Place it at the top of the frame, add a background and arrange the text below. This is the standard top-bottom composition structure, clear and stable. Or, enlarge the lychee. Duplicate a copy and place it diagonally across the frame. This is a diagonal composition, making the layout rich and full of dynamism. You can also place the lychee in the center of the frame, surrounded by other elements. The text info forms a surrounding composition, focusing the subject. Finally, put the enlarged lychee on the right, text on the left. The left-right composition is done. Left to right order makes the information flow smoothly.
The dot is almost the most basic component in graphics, acting as a terminal object in space. If the design screen is too monotonous, try using dots to form the main subject, and the picture will become more full. If there is a lot of text, replacing the dots with characters can achieve the same effect. When the screen has few characters and no clear direction, we can try to make the characters move into the water and break it down. A highly creative poster composed of dots will be successfully completed. Or, if you want to shape the atmosphere of the scene, we can integrate the dots into the light and shadow, adding some text blocks. Won't that achieve your desired effect? Of course, dot usage is not limited to this. If we observe closely, we will get unexpected gains.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
I can recite pi to 3.141592653589793233846. How many can you? A simple material and text. A single circle can boost the texture of the image. Or we can change our perspective and use circles to draw from the image. The effect of the piece will also be quite interesting. The circle is known as the most perfect shape. It represents infinity, harmony, and nature. In design, circles aren't merely decorative. If we wish to emphasize something, they can also help focus attention. They can shine in a chaotic environment, not just images and text. When encountering some irregular materials, surround it with a circle. Similar to being caged, it imparts an extra layer of chaotic beauty to the piece, or the elements in the image are quite loose. If we merely arrange them simply, it feels like something is lacking. Adding a circle in the center keeps the image from appearing too empty, and we certainly don't need to display the whole circle.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
Watch us let the old hairy exit across the body, so get out my way. All metallic, sweet, sexy, savage, in the finest gown, take it down my waist. Ooh, all my ladies rock this way. To all my haters, watch me sway. Bye, all my candy. The money got the
Other text looks dull regardless of layout, but change the text angle, the image instantly livens up. Or add rectangles below the text, adjusting their corners. To break the stiffness, changing element angle and direction is a simple, common way to boost design feel. Here, the title and character are isolated, lacking visual connection. First, adjust the subtitles. Layout direction to rebuild the visual path, then merge the character. The image naturally becomes whole and clever. Adjusting text-image elements is simpler. Just rotating them achieves strong visual impact. Yiqi-san. Naturally, if you prefer not to alter the element's inherent direction, you can still inject fresh visual tension into the composition by modifying the cutting angle of the mask. When there are fewer visual elements and the information density is somewhat low, you can increase the quantity of the dividing planes to restructure the spatial framework. With suitable adjustments to the angle and placement of the cuts, you can build layers of layout that are rich enough. At times, extensive modifications aren't even necessary. Just inverting or refining one symbol can precisely express the full meaning. May those in darkness realize direction is a choice. Adjusting course brings their own light.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
Other text looks dull regardless of layout, but change the text angle, the image instantly livens up. Or add rectangles below the text, adjusting their corners. To break the stiffness, changing element angle and direction is a simple, common way to boost design feel. Here, the title and character are isolated, lacking visual connection. First, adjust the subtitles. Layout direction to rebuild the visual path, then merge the character. The image naturally becomes whole and clever. Adjusting text-image elements is simpler. Just rotating them achieves strong visual impact. Yiqi-san. Naturally, if you prefer not to alter the element's inherent direction, you can still inject fresh visual tension into the composition by modifying the cutting angle of the mask. When there are fewer visual elements and the information density is somewhat low, you can increase the quantity of the dividing planes to restructure the spatial framework. With suitable adjustments to the angle and placement of the cuts, you can build layers of layout that are rich enough. At times, extensive modifications aren't even necessary. Just inverting or refining one symbol can precisely express the full meaning. May those in darkness realize direction is a choice. Adjusting course brings their own light.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
The tappable poster board. Encircling composition. We dismantle its panel. Tap its panel. Make a new poster with it. Second type. Top and bottom composition. Grasp features. Dismantle sequentially. Adjust the panel per content. Third type. Four-corner composition. Continue dismantling by layout. Keep the main frame. Fine-tune the content panel. Fourth type. Left-right composition. Dismantle tappable features as before. Adjust the panel per content.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
Image and text overlap is too common. Just remove the extra parts to fix the layout. Today I share 7 universal layout methods. 2. Shape mask. Make a shape like a square or circle. Use the mask to create white space and depth. 3. Color clash. For a full image, cut out the main subject. Add a shape to the background for a color contrast look. 4. Text stacking. Link the text to create a stacked look. 3D enhances the image's depth. 5. Text association. Placing the text associated with the person can enhance the design sense. 6. Subject breakout. Cutting out part of the background from a full-page image can enhance the layering of the picture. 7. Figure outline. If the figure's outline is interesting, cutting out part of the background and keeping only the figure makes the image more dynamic. Which version do you like best?
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
We miss you on your side of the bed.
Every day feels like Sunday with you.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
Black and white is done. So we added the gradient. It added creativity. But we aren't satisfied. So we looked for new possibilities. We discovered that gradients can influence others. We started walking out of the circle. It's still the gradient. It gave a little depth to our brief lives. While pursuing depth, we no longer wanted just black and white, so we collided colors and gradients, which created an ordinary path. However, we will eventually return to that original circle. But this time, between two identical but differently graded circles, we can only choose one.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
The scene is too plain. A different look isn't good enough. A bubble blown becomes 3D. The 3D effect is done. A poster with no features. The text style is not good. Becomes the dragon effect. The merge is done. The text still makes no impression. Graphics added are still ordinary. The magic dragon image. The simple, practical effect is done. The last one. Put it at the end. Inflate it a bit. The effect is finished.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
Characters are dull. Add the viewer, get a story. The cat is boring. A breeze, enter a fairy tale. Graphics are dull. Cross a heart. It becomes the cosmos. Color blocks are flat. Transition, get space. Text is too plain. Blur it. Get spirit.
An emotionless city, tinged with green, filling the city with loneliness. City adjustment. Lonely green can be vibrant. A messy bridge. Beam turns red. Creating a desperate labyrinth, lighting the lantern, even despair can transform into the desire to explore. Reaching the plain roadside, tinged with blue. A cold, rainy night, desolate, sad. Adjusting it, even the desolate heavy rain can become full of hope. Arriving at the pleasant grass. Reversing it brings a different emotion.
We start with this little puppy. First we'll give it a warm colored background, then incorporate the text, and just like that, a simple layout is finished. Alternatively, we could have the puppy switch to a different setting, positioning the puppy within the graphic. Adding text is also a good design approach. Alternatively, changing the size of the small dog and leaving large areas of white space on the layout can also give the layout a unique charm. We can also enlarge the small dog, centering the text accordingly. Of course, there are also different types of small dogs. If it is a fierce, large breed, using red, which represents danger, to express it, can effectively convey the layout's theme. Sometimes the form doesn't need to be concrete. Abstraction can also make the layout look high-end. Sometimes we don't need to fully show what we want to express. Connection, feedback, and winning is also a very good way of expression. A simple high-end poster is completed by placing a string of documents in the layout center, selecting an appropriate background, and then clearly defining the title information. Alternatively, you can enlarge it, extract the detailed text, concentrate it on one side, or divide the layout further and incorporate text decorations. This includes text recognition, or you can break the orderly layout using a rectangular box to merge text and the main product, adding light and shadow for depth. You could also integrate the text into the background for a visual narrative, creating a deep image, or duplicate it diagonally for a very refined appearance. By slightly changing the spatial position of a figure and adding some text embellishments, a promotional poster for clothing is finished. Layering is a frequent design trick where one shape is placed over. The theme overlap gives the layout design sense. Or drawing geometric shapes to build depth can enrich a simple layout. Besides full overlap, letting part of a shape to pierce the theme can also make the layout creative. One figure, a few letters. Find related points and pierce them, and the layout is full of creativity too. All letters can give a real tactile feel, making the layout visually deep. Even with just one character, using overlap also results in a design-rich layout.
It's bok choy. Top, bottom, place text above. This is a standard top, middle, bottom composition. This compositional style appears stable. You can enlarge the bok choy and place it at the bottom, then put the text above it. It forms a top-bottom layout. It's this bok choy. Copy one, separate left and right, place in the middle. This will form a cross composition, which can also be used to highlight the theme or lock down one of them. Place it on the diagonal, cross the text. This is diagonal composition. Or cut the bok choy in half. Place text next to the other half. This is creative too. Naturally, you could also enlarge the bok choy and position the copy above it, resulting in a full, dense composition. You might also separate the bok choy and arrange them in a straight line. Text piercing through placement. This is a distributed composition. This way, the image has enough negative space. Cutting the bok choy in half and placing the copy in the middle is also a good option. The reason there are so many demands is simply because people have too many desires. If there were only one demand, I hope children could achieve it too.
Flat is bad, gradient is good. Simple is out, atmosphere is in. Static isn't appealing, motion is. Text is dull, 3D is nice. Layout is weak, waves are strong. The whole isn't appealing, splitting is.
Two characters are too monotonous. Breaking them where the strokes connect introduces a sense of design. Shrink the font, casually draw a mountain, and the mountain island gains visual appeal. If people are insufficient, letting the characters live in the mountain gives that integrated rune feeling. If you want it simpler, remove the lines, and a more modern effect appears. Finally, outline a circle behind the mountain, and a sunset scene appears instantly.
This effect, achieved by morphing a character and adding a gradient, creates a sophisticated feeling. It's about splitting the character's strokes, arbitrarily adjusting the angle, and locally blurring the space. The font effect appears. Finally, duplicate this layer, change the color, and a psychedelic font effect will appear.
Split an image into 10 rows and columns, using a 3 to 6 to 1 division. Put our content
1-to-1 division
into
again.
3 to 6 to 1 divided space. Within the same partition space, there are different layout methods. After learning this method, keep adjusting the layout and achieve a different visual feeling.
In layout, simply aligning the elements neatly will result in a layout that appears overly dull. By positioning the crucial information along the diagonals, the overall composition will be significantly enhanced. We can also enlarge the title and select one of the elements to echo the graphics in the layout. This layout is your stage.
In front of me, vaguely holding tightly.
Besides text, if we want pictures to also use diagonal composition between them, just turn on the lighting and the scene will become more narrative. If there is already a light source in the layout, we can place the text in the position of the light source, allowing the text and its shadow to form a diagonal line. What should be done if the layout only contains text? It is said that a two-dimensional plane cannot contain three-dimensional space. If you are feeling lost right now, the diagonal line will guide you to find the way home at night. Hard to focus on the key point in a crowd. Just move the surrounding people. Motion versus stillness creates focus. To highlight the focus, besides repeating the subject, change surrounding element forms. Contrasting forms focuses the layout better, not just form contrast. Local info filling the layout creates whole versus part contrast, highlighting the subject. Stiff text makes it dull. Put some text in the mouth. The contrast between soft and hard can better show the unique tension of the image. If we only have text, we can enlarge the text and then slightly blur some individual characters. The combination of blur and solidation enriches the layout. Besides blurring the entire text, we can also split the text strokes, slightly blur the strokes, and then add a touch of white to combine the contrast between real and virtual black and white. This instantly gives the layout a sense of space. Using contrast techniques well is actually not complicated. As long as it is done just right, it can effectively highlight the theme of the layout.
This is an anti-cyberbullying poster, looking plain. Change the thinking, link the elements, get new ideas. Same for a C protection poster. Replace the domain's tail with a familiar element. Creativity appears. This is a traffic safety poster. The message is fine. We can just use key elements to decide. Determine different speed numbers by replacing them with illustrations of speeding consequences. More creative? This is a smoking cessation poster. It's more creative than the last, but not enough. Bring out the skull. Head and merge it with the corresponding element to make the message expression more direct. Or just copy this cigarette a few times to get a new element design. Break thinking limits. A quit smoking poster doesn't need a cigarette. Use another element to show smoking's danger. Dangers. This kid looks plain. One shadow makes the picture talk.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
A layout with a few lines of text on an image is scattered. One rectangle adds order. Order. The rectangle is the most fundamental and useful shape in design. Even if there is a lot of text on the screen, using a rectangle can bring a sense of order to a scattered layout. Speaking of order, it doesn't exist only in layouts with a lot of information. Layout. When there is less text, using a rectangle can also achieve the beauty of order. Besides order, rectangles also divide layout levels. One line of text spread flat on an image is monotonous. Adding one rectangle immediately enriches the image. A plain character poster. Adding a rectangular layer enriches the look. A rectangle can be text blocks, not just shapes. Since it's a rectangle, it doesn't need to be horizontal or vertical. For a full image with limited info, use rectangles to stack, crop for white space, giving it breadth. The rectangle is the invisible layout director. Don't guess its shape.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
When the screen is too flat with no focus, color can be used to separate the subject from the background layers. Color blocks focus the eye in the layout. If the screen has much text, placing color blocks beneath the text can highlight different levels of information. If the layout is image dominant, color blocks serve to categorize, making the classification of images clear at a glance. When color blocks decorate or accent, pulling related colors from the subject makes the layout harmonious, but what if elements aren't related? What recourse do you have when you are unable to conceive of any elements that share a clear visual connection? I didn't say you couldn't force a link.
Love is a force we can sense across time and space. Corn from alien plants brings hope. Love has always existed and is powerful, not human-made. The only thing we perceive beyond time and space. In that vast, quiet universe, wrapped in lonely awe. Before absolute higher space, feeling so small. Because we are small, emotional bonds are precious. Humans are born alone, but communication, company, and love elevate us from that solitude.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
Just an ordinary orchid, though the picture is dull. With water, the little orchid blooms. Against a white background, the little orchid once grew long, 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 short. The bright hue of the azure wave. Ning month, same day. Little orchid against black. Speechless, they said, moon has light, blade has feeling. Parting, longing, fourth month clouds and water layer upon layer. The plain grass can warm and fix emotions. World's beings have myriad fates, like the design's presentation, showing myriad changes.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
It's a simple circle. Let's add some design to it. Blur it a little. A soft glow effect. It appears. Or add some water ripples. A swimming pool appears. And a ladder is needed to make it livelier. A girl is swimming freely in the water. Could this possibly be the long-awaited summer holiday you have been dreaming about? Or maybe, add curtains. A circular window appears. Under the lovely stars, a cute cat stretches out its paws in a dream. Hello, a snug night. We could also try altering the color scheme of the scene. A yellow moon rises in the blue velvet night sky, casting its gentle reflection on the water. At this time, moonlight is like water. Missing you is like a tide. Hello, hometown.
With many images, first layer them, clarify main secondary focus, then information is traceable. Sometimes the more pictures. You must also focus on consistency. Most mess comes from no pattern. When using shapes for images, keep shapes uniform, or you lose the whole picture feel. The more pictures. Also try to keep image tones consistent. Too many color changes make the picture look cheap. If images should look lively, you can place them randomly, but the information needs a strong order and pattern. Motion requires rest. Where there is mess, there must be flair. With many pictures, avoid grouping to keep the screen space from getting messy.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
Make this person look classier. Strip the color with a black backdrop. Add a circle. Make it orange. Color behind the figure. A classy look appears. Still this person. Move it around. Add the background color. Plus plants. Use your imagination. Add flowers and butterflies. A creative image like this will appear. Using this person, change the background. Draw some lines. Remove a part of the body. An artistic figure like this will appear. Finally, this person. Make it vintage colored. Add peaks below. Starry sky background. Add a grid texture. A vintage person appears.
If you're interested in design, please click the link in our bio.
Too simple, no good. In a graphic, it looks good. Too much is bad. A little less looks good. Too clear looks bad. Focusing is good. Too thin is bad. Thicker is better. Too blunt looks bad. With contrast, it looks good.
A $1 tomato. Arranged vertically in text, it's a $100 million tomato. Copy one now worth $2.02. Enlarge it to show quality. Now it's $2.05. If we put it aside, show a clearer selling point, making it seem like a good item. It's now worth $3. Add 2 tomatoes on this basis to show the selling point. This is the $300 million tomato. If it seems a bit dull, copy a few more. One is $3. Calculate the total using the penalty rhyme. What if we add more? Or enlarge the selling point title and place it among the tomatoes, fixing the issue where older women can't read the small text. Put the toma. Vertically copy the tomatoes, leaving more space for the copy and selling points. Selling it to you now for $10. Not too much, right?
Do less, your design is 10 times better. 1, fewer colors. Too many colors look busy and cheap. Stick to 3 main colors, safe and effective. 2, reduce elements. Too many elements look chaotic. Function first, decoration second. Limit decoration to 2 types. Unnecessary decoration is noise. 3, reduce fonts. Too many flashy fonts look tacky. Use at most 3 fonts total. Fewer fonts look more premium. 4, reduce information. Stuffing everything on one page means users remember nothing. 1 core message per screen. Too much means nothing sticks. 5. Reduce effects. Shadows, gradients, borders, glows. Stacking effects makes it look cheap. Effects are seasoning, not the main dish. Skip them if you can, so please self-check before submitting.
This is a curve. Repeating it forms a peak of undulating mountains. Add 10,000 magpies connected end to end, and you have the magpie bridge where the cowherd and the weaver girl meet. Still just a curve. Add a few more, and it forms a babbling river. But it seems a bit monotonous. Let's fill it with color, a gradient. The river's depth appears. Draw a bright clear moon, and this is the story of the cowherd and the weaver girl meeting at the river bridge. Draw and copy another curve. Add notes, it forms a staff. I want to compose a piece of music for it. Replace the notes with magpies, and you have a beautiful and moving melody. This is its hand, and its hand. They look close, yet they are also far apart. Just add 1 curve, and this is the saying. A thread connects 1,000 miles of destined love. Lastly, we have 2 curves that are close to each other. We join them together, and fill the space in the middle with white color. Love them? Confess boldly.
When the text layout on a poster design is too average and lacks a focal point, consider making the text larger to give the theme more prominence. Or you could enlarge the picture. This will boost the visual experience and add more power to the image's appeal. Centering both the image and text is a decent technique for fully displaying the visual information, but it lacks highlights, so be bolder. Enlarging a local detail creates a strong visual effect, making it feel touchable. Enlarging a close-up shot is simple and compelling. Extreme detail expression can further enhance the image's message. Desire. We often hear the client say the product text isn't prominent enough, so enlarge it and overlay the text. This highlights the product and reinforces the message. If the screen only has a very small picture, and the client wants it to be very eye-catching, we just need to enlarge the picture and add text. Strong visual tension moves the client more. When the scene has many elements and lacks a theme.
If you have just 1 picture, try drawing a diagonal cut, expanding the background, changing the cut line to white, and adding some typography and texture. If you have 2 pictures, why not create a circle, position it correctly, place the image in a quarter of the circle, and refine the layout. If you have many different photos, First unify their shapes, then arrange them in the appropriate positions. For the graphics, the main colors are black and white. If it seems too plain to you, feel free to add some colorful geometric shapes. And finish it with typography. See you in the next one.
This is a zongzi. A poor designer will just mix materials randomly, resulting in a plain look. Sometimes simple methods can still create good designs with zongzi leaves wrapping. Combining zongzi enhances its gloss and texture, creating a vibrant visual. You might think it's too easy. To complicate things, we can enlarge and duplicate the zongzi leaves across the canvas. Comparing zongzi visually enhances the image's gloss and texture. The smaller zongzi appears more focused. We arrange the text symmetrically to align with the theme, using a smaller scale. Positioning characters in the image creates a strong visual contrast in the poster. Good design doesn't always require enlarging the product, but if the client is generous, I can do it now. If enlarging the zongzi isn't enough, I'll duplicate several zongzi to ensure there's enough. To make the enlarged visual cohesive, I'll create a body of water below the zongzi to merge with it. The winding mountain shapes create a visual contrast. Ultimately, we arrange the text to complete a poster for the Dragon Boat Festival that fulfills the client's requirements.
Boss gave one photo. For a high-end look, keep the main image content and text placement. Try adding another element or bitter melon text arranged around it too. Use a background gradient for harmony, or drop complex tricks. Simple works too. If the main shape is similar, use surrounding composition, even when swapping. One shape element works for a premium feel composition. Or put the cabbage and text left-right for stability. Try explaining the cabbage to enrich the info. Try top-bottom framing instead of left-right, it's also high-end. Or, use surrounding white space, putting text and subject in the middle.
When the text layout on a poster design is too average and lacks a focal point, consider making the text larger to give the theme more prominence. Or you could enlarge the picture. This will boost the visual experience and add more power to the image's appeal. Centering both the image and text is a decent technique for fully displaying the visual information, but it lacks highlights, so be bolder. Enlarging a local detail creates a strong visual effect, making it feel touchable. Enlarging a close-up shot is simple and compelling. Extreme detail expression can further enhance the image's message. Desire. We often hear the client say the product text isn't prominent enough, so enlarge it and overlay the text. This highlights the product and reinforces the message. If the screen only has a very small picture, and the client wants it to be very eye-catching, we just need to enlarge the picture and add text. Strong visual tension moves the client more. When the scene has many elements and lacks a theme,